The best match in the history of Greek football. The best match that no one talks about. And perhaps one of the best penalty shootouts of all time. That was the Greek Cup final in 2008 and 9. Greek derbies have always been characterized by their incredible atmosphere and rivalry, a gift from the football gods. But this game is the peak of it, tension until the end, with a great atmosphere. It is the 2nd May 2009. In the 67th edition of the Greek Cup, AK Athens and Olympiakos Piraeus meet at the Olympic Stadium of Athens. Olympiakos is today the most successful club in Greece, with 46 league titles and 28 cup titles. AK is also one of the top 4 clubs and can boast 33 league titles and 16 cup victories. The two clubs have shared the rivalry for a long time, as they are geographically near to each other and have been successful teams fighting for the titles. The rivalry was often inflamed by the fact that many players played for both clubs. In the head-to-head statistics, Olympiakos is better off, with 97 wins to 64 wins. The derbies of these two teams are characterized by the aggressiveness on the field, with high attendances and entertaining games with many goals. On the way to the final, both teams had to fight difficulties again and again. As representatives of the highest league, they both entered the round of 32. AK had to play against Olympiakos FC from the 2nd highest league. They had a lot of trouble and only won after extra time with 1-2. Olympiakos managed to win in regulation time with 3-2 against the 2nd division team Diagoras Rodou. In the round of 16, Olympiakos easily bet OFI Crete FC 2-0. While AK Athens only won 1-0 against 2nd division team AOK Kerkyra with the winning goal in the 89th minute. From the quarterfinals onwards, they played with the 1st and 2nd leg, with Olympiakos facing a tough opponent as they had to play PAOK Thessaloniki. After a 1-0 defeat in the 1st leg and a 1-0 lead at home, they then managed to win 2-0 in injury time. AK also didn't manage to win both games. They lost away against Skoda Xanthi with 1-2, but with the 1-0 home win and the then still valid away goal rule, they made it into the next round. The last hurdle before the final was the semi-final, where AK won against Panserikos FC from the 2nd division with a total score of 3-1. After a 2-2 in the 1st leg against Asteras Tripolis, Olympiakos also made it into the final with a 2-1 win. After the number of the clubs was reduced from 70 to 2, the moment had come. The duel of the Greek giants, the double-headed eagle Dikephalos Aetos against the legend Trilos. A feast of the gods, as it would later turn out. After a disappointing season on a 4th place in the table, AK Athens naturally wanted to give everything for this title. The opponent, however, was the favourite Olympiakos, who were already league champions and defending cup champions. With a great atmosphere and a crowd of 48,594 people, the game finally started at 8:30 PM by the referee Anastasios Karkos. And it started lively right from the beginning. After Rafik Jagur was able to assert himself in the penalty area, Ismael Blanco headed in for the 1-0 in the 4th minute for AK Athens. And so it went on. Just 4 minutes later, it was again Blanco, who after a pass into the left side of the penalty area could freely score. After a good chance of Olympiacos by a long shot, it went already into the break. After the first half already half beaten, Olympiacos came out of the dressing room on fire again and immediately created the equalizer in the 47th minute through Matt Derbyshire, who was substituted after the break. Olympiacos continued to press and had enough chances to equalize. So for example, Derbyshire shot the ball just over the goal after a cross into the center of the penalty area. Then, in the 70th minute, the redemption. After an insufficient clarification of a cross by the goalkeeper of Athens, it came to confusion in the penalty area, whereupon the Brazilian player Dudu could tap in to make it 2-2. The players on the pitch continued to give everything. You could feel the importance of this derby. It was characterized by rough fouls and unsportsmanlike behavior. For example, Athens Geraldo shot the ball on the previously fouled on the ground lying Belushi and then got a yellow card afterwards. After further back and forth, AK then managed the supposed winning goal. After a good solo of Skoko, who could assert himself against two defenders, he scored into the lower right corner to the 3-2. Shortly after the goal, Sortirios Kyriakos from Athens, who came in the 62nd minute, was sent off with yellow-red. There were 6 minutes of added time called, and Olympiacos threw with a man more again everything forward, but they couldn't manage to score. But then, in the 96th minute, the last minute of stoppage time, Olympiacos goalkeeper Nikopolaides desperately kicked the ball forward, and the ball was headed over to Derbyshire. He headed in skillful to complete the comeback. Although AK took the lead 2 times, Olympiacos managed to save the game into extra time. And now it was Olympiacos' turn. In the 102nd minute, Luciano Galletti was free at the right of the goal as the AK defenders were too far away from the man, and he scored to give Olympiacos the lead for the first time. But because he took off his jersey while cheering and had already seen a yellow card, he was sent off and the game continued with 10 versus 10. Now AK needed the equalizer, and according to the course of the game, it came. After a high ball into the penalty area in the 107th minute, Skoko again got the ball and shot it into the short corner. 4-4. The equalizer was perfect, and the game could hardly get any better. When it remained at this result, it finally came to the penalty shootout. And that was a masterpiece. The first 4 shooters of both teams scored. On the 5th attempt by AK, however, Majstorovic hit only the post. Predrag Dordovic now stepped up for perhaps the decisive penalty. The man who after 13 years at the club with over 300 games for them had become a club legend. For his very last game in his career, he was substituted in the 62nd minute and could now decide everything. He runs on. Sebastian Zacha holds. Dordovic couldn't believe it, but the penalty shootout went on. It was sudden death. The team that would miss first loses. Due to the fact that in the 107th minute, Papadopoulos of Olympiacos also saw twice the yellow card. Goalkeeper Nikopoulides had already to take over as the 8th shooter and converted it confidently. Then, the 9th attempt by AK. Georgios shot into the left corner. Nikopoulides suspected it and saved the ball. Again, match point for Olympiacos. This time, the shooter was Paraskevas Ansas. He decided to shoot safely into the middle. Again, not in. Sacha held the ball and saved AK another time. A full 32 penalties had already been taken as Agustin Pelletieri lines up for AK. His shot went into the left and Nikopoulides held it. It was the 5th missed penalty this evening and it should be the last one. Then now, Nikopoulides himself stepped up, for the 2nd time already. Antonis Nikopoulides, the almost 40-year-old goalkeeper who was European champion with Greece in 2004, had it in his hands. Already at his run-up, one noticed that he's actually only a pure goalkeeper without any skill at the ball. He starts with a big run-up, precise shot, down the left, goal. The stadium goes wild. Olympiacos Piraeus had just won one of the craziest penalty shootouts of all time. So guys, what do you think deserved to win this legendary final more? Olympiacos or AK? Write it in the comments, we are very curious. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe the channel if you appreciate it.